talking about bro science, what's your thoughts on nofap?
I think that it depends what you are doing it for. Are you doing it because you've been told by, I don't know, some like incel forum that this is like what you got to do? Or are you doing it for dopamine detox thing? Are you doing it like in what context? Just in general, what do I think about it?
Yeah, and what are the contexts in which you think it's got some efficacy and which are the ones that you think is pie in the sky?
I think there are a lot of people who are sedentary hermits that basically never leave their house and use outlets like pornography to achieve that dopamine hit that is otherwise a lower barrier to entry way of achieving that smashing the dopamine button. It's a lot higher effort to go find a woman, go on a date with her, attract her, get her into your bed, have sexual intercourse and actually put energy expenditure into that activity as well. It's very easy to sit at your computer that you're already at, open up the browser, and smash the dopamine button. So a lot of people it's almost like a weirdly paralleled version of those rat studies where they just wired their brains and then give them the opportunity to smash this dopamine button, essentially, and they always choose to smash it over and over again. It's like that is very much paralleled, I think, in a lot of men nowadays, because it's just such a ease of access now that there is nothing to dissuade them from doing it and not having the willpower or the even want to try and avoid it to go seek, a higher quality of life that might otherwise involve companionship or whatever it is. They very much will take the easy route and, it still achieves the same dopamine hit to them. So for them, they're just wired to be, for them, I think nofap could be useful because at some point your biological urges will be like, get the fuck out there and have sex.
Because you're motivated so much just by frustration.
Yeah, like the apathy and the complacency that you have after busting a nut, it's just like, you just don't really care about anything, Like why am I going to go find a woman to be with when I'm satisfied and I just feel fine, I'm just chilling here. I don't need to do that.
So that's where it would be useful. Where's it not useful?
I think it's useful in individuals who it has actually had a detriment to their quality of life from a relationship standpoint, social interaction standpoint. Some people end up hindering their relationship quality with their girlfriend too because they're so porn addicted. They end up, over masturbating and then exposing themselves to stimuli that otherwise makes them relatively unresponsive in an actual real life setting with a woman. Like there are many scenarios in which I think nofap, or more specifically no porn, potentially coupled with some degree of nofap, is worthwhile. I think these get conflated a lot, is the nofap, no porn thing. Like a lot of people just say nofap, but in reality, a lot of it is problematic with the compounding effect of the pornography exposure. Because if you're just like thinking about your girlfriend and you bust a nut because you haven't seen her in, a while, I don't think that's bad necessarily. What else are you going to do? So it's the pornography and like tying that the dopamine hit to that activity that is overly problematic. And then the nofap, if it's excessive fapping where it's hindering your drive to go do things in life.
Pathological fapping.
Yeah. Yeah. Like at that point, when you can actually sit down and objectively look at yourself and say, this is impeding my ability to either get high quality relationships, maintain them in some capacity, or it's not leading to what I feel to be a high quality of life in general. Like at that point, I think nofap is absolutely worth trying. I think there's definitely a lower ceiling for where it's justified to do no porn versus I think nofap, I don't necessarily think nofap needs to even be in the same conversation as no porn always, which it often is. People just assume it to be one and the same.
Yeah, it's got a branding. No porn's got a branding problem because it's not as catchy.
Yeah.
Nofap's quite catchy.
And I don't think, even with porn, I don't think it has a zero place. Like, I think there are some scenarios in which, could be great. Maybe it excites your sex life. Who knows? It's just a matter of, like, the exposure, like, too much or too little. Too much of something is always bad in general. So, as you would expect, at some point, you are crossing the threshold into impeding your quality of life in some capacity.